Are you traveling to Porto and wondering what are the best port wine lodges for you to go wine tasting? Don't worry, I got you covered. My name is Sarah Riobon. I have been a tour guide in Porto for the past 10 years, but not only that, I have also been a wine tour guide in the Douro Valley where port wine is produced for the same time. So I actually know what I'm talking about. On this video, I'm gonna tell you my top 5 port wine lodges in the city, as well as one wine tasting room that I particularly like. This is not an exhaustive list of all the wine lodges in Porto, okay? These are the ones that I personally recommend. For each place, I'm gonna tell you the advantages and disadvantages of going there so that you can choose the wine experience that is most suitable to you. Before we start the video, let me tell you two important things. First of all, on the description of this video, you can find the links for you to buy the tickets for each of the port wine lodges that I'm going to recommend you. And I do recommend you to buy the tickets because these activities tend to sell out, especially during the high season. And second of all, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my new videos about Porto and the Douro Valley. Let's start. First up is Graham's. The experience there starts with the 10-minute videos about their wineries, followed by a group guided tour inside their beautiful lodges. Let me show you something super here at the Graham's Wine Lodge. This cask that you see right next to me, it's 150 years old tawny. It dates from 1882 and they can only bottle one of these casks per generation of owners. It's amazing to be able to be right next to it. The guided visit is followed by a wine tasting, either at the common room that you can see here or at the Graham's room, which is a more private room for premium wine tastings at Graham's. Moreover, Graham's also has a really elegant wine bar, as well as a cool restaurant with fantastic views overlooking the Douro River and Porto City. Graham's is one of my favorite wine lodges for several reasons. First of all, I think it's where you can get the best guided tours. They are very well structured and the guides are properly informed. So it is a place where you're gonna get the largest amount of information, which is great for nerds like me. Second of all, I think it has gorgeous tasting room. This is I think it's called the common tasting room. And then they have also a vintage tasting room for more premium wine tastings. And third, they have a fantastic view over the Douro River and Porto. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the restaurant that they have in here has the same view. So overall, I think the experience at Graham's is absolutely top. The only thing that I don't like about coming to Graham's Port Wine Lodge is that it is located at the top of the hill, you know. So if you're coming from Cais de Gaia, where all the other port wine cellars are located, you have to climb quite a steep street. It takes around 20 minutes walking distance, or you can simply take the Uber or a taxi from wherever your hotel in Porto is located. My second choice is COCKBURN'S. The guided visit there starts with a small wine museum, followed by a guided tour in their extraordinarily large wine lodge, where you are also going to be able to experience something unique, which is to watch their dedicated cooper teams repairing wine barrels. It's simply amazing. Then you're going to enjoy your wine tasting either at their main tasting room or at the John Smith's tasting room, which is a more private room where the premium wine tastings take place at COCKBURN'S. Let's talk about the three things that I love about COCKBURN'S Wine Lodge. First of all, this is, in my opinion, the most beautiful wine lodge here in Porto, period. It's absolutely massive. To give you an idea, it has 9 million liters of wine spread in 6,000 wine barrels. So the cellar itself is enormous and it is magnificent as well. So one point there. The other thing is that this is the only wine lodge where you have a cooperage, so where you can see the coopers repairing the wine barrels, and this is something really unique that you won't be able to do anywhere else here in Porto. Third, COCKBURN'S belongs to the Cimentan family, like the Graham's, okay? And like in Graham's, the guided visit is very well structured and the tour guides are quite good, they are quite competent. Advantages. Personally, I'm not super fond of the wine tasting room. It feels, it's large, but it feels quite dark. So I would like COCKBURN'S to either have a wine tasting room with more natural light or to have a proper outdoor area like Graham's or Taylor's. The other thing that might be a minor problem is that the wine cellar is on top of a hill, so it's located more or less 500 meters away from the riverside, always going on a steep climb. But you know what they say, no pain, no gain, so just suck it up, come to COCKBURN'S Wine Lodge, because you won't regret the experience. In third place comes Tailors, which provides a completely different experience since you won't have a guided tour but rather a self-audio guided tour available in 13 languages so that you can explore their wine museum as well as their wine lodges entirely at your own pace. At the end, you are going to enjoy your port wines in this gorgeous indoor room or at their terrace, which is absolutely adorable and has an amazing view of the Douro River, just like Graham's does. I love Tailors mostly for three reasons. First of all, I love the concept of having an audio guided tour because I think it gives you time to explore the wine cellar at your own pace, which doesn't happen if you are with a tour guide. Second of all, it has a really enormous terrace with the gorgeous coastal views overlooking the Douro River. And third, Taylor's has phenomenal wines, okay? So on the price of the guided visit, it's included 3 wines, which are these ones that you can see right here. But you can choose also by the glass, which I think is great if you are a wine connoisseur and want to dive deep into the fantastic wines of Taylor's. So overall, I think this winery is fantastic for port wine lovers. On the other hand, Tailors might not be the right choice for you if you are traveling, for instance, with a group of friends, because you know each one of you will be handling their own audio guide, so there's not much interaction going on. And second of all, Tailors, like Graham's, is located on the top of the hill, okay? So you have to walk quite a lot to get there. There's no subway stations, there are no buses. Next up is Poças, a small-scale producer in the hands of a Portuguese family. The experience starts with a guided tour of their wine lodge, where you're going to be able to see a small tools museum that personally I think it's adorable. Then it's followed by a wine tasting of ports, still wines, or both, as you prefer. If you are looking for a smaller port wine house, I highly recommend you to try Poças, which is a port wine brand that has been in the hands of the same Portuguese family for the past 100 years. I love the experience at Poças. First of all, the guided visit is very short, but it's very effective because their guides are very knowledgeable and very enthusiastic. Second of all, I really like as well the tasting room. As you can see, it's very informal, very relaxed. I love that. And third, depending on the wine tasting that you choose, you can go just for port wines or a wine tasting that includes both ports and still wines. And this is great if you are not fully on board with port wines or if you are traveling with someone that would prefer to taste still wines. Last but not least, in some of the tastings that they have, including the one that I included on the link on the description of this video, you can choose among different types of wines. And I thought that was very interesting. For instance, I was given the choice between 4 different types of white ports. So if you are a wine nerd like me, you're gonna love it at Poças. The only thing that I don't like about Poças is its location. Poças is located on the top of the hill, far away from the riverside, which it has the advantage of making it less touristy, but on the other hand, it makes it more difficult to come here. Now let me introduce you to my favorite wine tasting room, which belongs to Quevedo, a lovely Portuguese brand in the hands of a brother and a sister. They have this gorgeous experience available online where you'll taste 3 fantastic ports paired with 3 traditional Portuguese cheeses from small-scale producers. It's truly a wonderful experience. Now, the reason why I'm recommending Quevedo wine tasting room in particular are basically 3. First of all, the overall quality of the wines included on the wine tastings are very good and above the mark. To give you an idea, I'm doing the port wine tasting with cheeses pairing, and they included a single harvest white port from 2009. Look, you're not going to find this in other wine tasting rooms, at least not at this price point. The second thing is that I really like this pairing of port wines with cheeses because it really teaches you how to play with port wine and what to do with them back home. And third of all, their staff is wonderful, you know. So they have historians, they have winemakers in their team, and they are all very knowledgeable about wines, and they are all going to be able to really explain you the Douro Valley region, the winemaking process, as well as the wines that you're going to taste. So overall, I really do think that the wine tastings at Quevedo are wonderful, instructive experiences at quite an affordable price. Lastly comes Calém. The experience there starts with a visit to a small wine museum that you explore on your own, followed by a guided visit of their wine lodge, which is quite small, to be honest, it's not very impressive. Then you can have a wine tasting at their main tasting room, or if you prefer, you can do the wine tasting while watching a fado show. So look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this for you, okay? Calém doesn't have an interesting wine lodge like, for instance, COCKBURN'S, which is large and beautiful. The tour is also not very interesting because I've done the tour several times and I always feel that the knowledge that the guides possess is very superficial. So if you are a proper wine lover, Calém is definitely not the wine lodge that I recommend for you. And you may be wondering, you know, if I don't like the wine lodge, if I don't like the tour, why on earth is Calém included on this video of the best port wine lodges in Porto, right? And there are basically two reasons. First of all, the whole experience, so guided tour plus wine tasting, is very cheap at Calém. So if you are traveling on a low budget, this might be the right wine cellar for you. And second, and most importantly, Calém is the only port wine lodge where you're going to be able to combine a wine tasting with a fado show. And this is, for me, an irresistible value proposition because fado is one of the most important cultural experiences that you're going to be able to have in Porto. So overall, and despite its flaws, I do recommend coming to Calém's Wine Lodge. Hope you have enjoyed this video of the best port wine lodges in Porto. On the description of this video, I'm going to leave you the links for you to buy the tickets for all the wine lodges that I recommended. And I highly, highly recommend it to book your experience because this is an experience that tends to get sold out, especially during the high season. Last but not least, and before I go, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of my new videos about Porto and the Douro Valley where the port wine is produced. See you next time.